Mr.Bones. I'd buy that for $1.
What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you, and welcome back to another Dollar Tree Theater. And what we're talking about is 2015's The Lazarus Effect. This is directed by David Gelb and written by Luke Dawson and Jeremy Slater, starring Olivia Wilde as Zoe. She's in Tron Legacy and Don't Worry, Darling. Mark Duplass as Frank, who's in Creep and Your Sister's Keeper. Evan Peters as Clay, who's in Never Back Down and lots of American Horror Stories. And in WandaVision as Quicksilver. Donald Glover as Nico. He's in the Solo Star Wars movie as Lando Calrissian and a TV show I like called Atlanta. Sarah Bulger as Eva. She's in Spider Chronicles and the Mayans TV show. And Ray Wise as Mr. Wallace, who's in RoboCop and Jeepers Creepers 2 as Taggart. A group of medical researchers led by Frank and his fiancée Zoe have achieved the unimaginable, bringing the dead back to life. But when Zoe is accidentally electrocuted in a horrific accident, Frank and his team use their experimental serum to resurrect her, but their attempt goes horribly wrong, unleashing terrifying powers within Zoe that put all their lives in grave danger. Yeah, so you meet Zoe and Frank and Clay and Nico and Eva, this group of medical students or researchers, and they're kind of playing Let's Play God. You first thing you see is them trying this experiment with this experimental medicine they made. That they're trying to bring the dead back, and they're experimenting with dead animals they have in a freezer. And they managed to bring this dead dog that they named Rocky back to life. It's like a golden retriever, and it's like very stoic at first. It just sits or lays on its chest and just stares forward like, what the hell am I doing here? Why do I exist? And it acts weird, but they're all excited like they made a breakthrough. And then like some higher ups, they've been like tracking their progress on the computers. Like every time something gets uploaded to a server, they have a fixed where they can see everything they're doing, and they come and shut them down. But as they're raiding their lab, one of the girls runs off with Rocky, and their test subject, and they just so happen to have had a bag of the serum at home that they took home just in case, they said. So after a while, after they had been kicked out, they decided to go back because one of the girls still has their key card. So she goes in and she sneaks the others in through the back, and they want to continue their research and stuff. They get another dog out, and something happens where the power goes out, and somehow Zoe gets electrocuted and she's dead. Frank is freaking out, and he's like, I know how to do this crazy shit. Ain't no way I'm going to lose my fiance and leave her here. All the others are against it, but he does it anyway, makes them all help. And the Zoe he gets back is not the Zoe that they all remember. And she, by the end of the movie, she reminds me of a cross between like Carrie and Charlie from Drew Barrymore's Firestarter. She can move pins and stuff across the table and make things fly and raise elevator stuff in the air. And there's just lots of crazy, cool, creepy moments in this movie. It sort of reminds me of a pinch of Pet Cemetery, bringing back dead animals, and it also very much reminds me of Flatliners. the classic Flatliners with Kiefer Sutherland and Julie Roberts, Kevin Bacon. And a pinch of a movie called Wakewood. If you haven't seen that, it's Lakewood reminds me of Pet Cemetery, but with humans. They have a certain burial spot where if you bury someone, they'll come back to life. So yeah, highly recommend this movie if you haven't seen it. It's a blast. It's got creepy moments. Oh, there's also a moment that kind of reminds me of Insidious, where they have the other, or whatever it's called. I think it's called the other side. She has the ability to pull. At one point, she pulls Eva into her nightmare that she's had since she was a little girl. So that's kind of reminded me of Insidious with a dash of Nightmare on Elm Street. So a lot of comparisons to a lot of things, but yeah, awesome movie. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. That's what I watched. Peace.